Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, plopped on a floor, big bowl of sugar cereal, and tell your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning, for the first episode of our October celebration, we watched Monster High Electrified!
Something pop song about monsters. Make it sound kinda cute, but it's also really catchy, and guys don't wanna admit that they like it.
I will admit right off the bat that I do like it. Well, because, I mean, it's direct follow-up to the one we watched before, Welcome to Monster High, and I was glad to see that because they were characters I recognized immediately, and so I was kind of like drawn into the world because I had that familiarity with it already.
Yeah, I didn't realize that this was going to be like a direct follow-up, because I feel like there's a TV show also, so I thought that these were like movies that would be interchangeable with the show, like, you know, you've got some of the show and then you got the movie which impacts the show, but no, this is just back to back to that other movie. So yeah, it was interesting. Definitely think that this was made to sell toys specifically.
Yeah, you can tell that, especially once the electrified part starts coming in.
Exactly. Like this was definitely, it felt way more of a toy commercial than the first one did.
Well, who suggested this one to us?
It was suggested by Ira Sutton, who suggests things all the time. Thank you, Ira.
That's true. Yes. Thanks, Ira. You know what we like.
You know.
The movie Monster High Electrified aired in 2017, created and developed by Garrett Sander, illustrations by Kelly Riley and Glenn Hansen. And that's actually, I should go back a little bit. Those people I just mentioned are the ones who created Monster High as an idea, like for the dolls and everything. And then this specific feature was directed by Augusta these are hard. Zorlidi, June Falkenstein, that's a cool name, and Renee Vallot. So, and written by Keith Wagner, produced by Mattel, the whole thing. So this is obviously based on the Monster High doll line, and just as the previous one was. So they were toys first, or dolls first, and then it became this show, obviously to help to push these toys and sell more of them and introduce new ones as well. And this is a case where I really think they pulled that off well without it feeling too cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. They did that pretty well the last time too. I mean, like we said, it was obvious that the electrified part was definitely for toy selling, but like they do a good job with the characters and the stories, honestly.
Yeah, they still made it work. This was released on DVD on March 28, 2017, and it was actually released on Nickelodeon, and various parts of the series or whatever are on Nickelodeon as well, and this one ran on April 13, 2017. I don't think it has a TV show. I know it was like partially a web series, then there was like a Gen 1 version of it that had some other movies attached to it, and then in 2016, that's when Gen 2 started, and that's where we picked up with that Welcome to Monster High. So that was kind of the second run of Monster High, like a resurface of it. Yeah.
That's right. There was a show that predated these things, and it was like different animation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a different animation style.
Okay. That must be what I was thinking of, because I remember seeing multiple on IMDb. So I was just like, oh, there's got to be like a show that goes with this, but I forgot. We had talked about that already. I don't pay attention or listen to our own show, Joseph.
Yeah, I kind of forgot too until I'm reading up on this a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, like we watched that and it was a whole thing, because they were like, the toy line started in 2010, if you believe that. Like I didn't know they were around for that long. And then, like I said, it was rebooted in a way in 2016. So that's the Monster High that you and I are familiar with, at least.
I was gonna say, I vaguely remember the dolls back in the day, because I remember a long time ago I used to work at Target, and I just remember thinking that they were cool. Obviously they're for, they were meant for young girls and stuff like that. But I mean, me and you like monsters and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, that's cool. You're getting kids into monsters, like the classic kind of monsters. I'll always appreciate that.
Yeah, it's fun. I love the way they play around with just the names of things. And anytime someone says something like spooktacular or, any way they tie horror lingo into a word, it always makes my heart smile. I love that kind of stuff.
Literally, his heart smiles. It's really creepy.
It's kind of
like
creepy.
You can see it in his chest.
It hurts a little bit on the outside. You can feel it. And whenever I am just clenching at my chest, that's just my heart smiling. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It'll pass. But right away, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, they usually call it cardiac arrest, but it's a fun kind of cardiac arrest that makes you happy.
So you can guarantee I will die smiling.
It's true.
Or at least my heart will.
Yeah.
So really for the marshmallows, I mean, I'll go back to the actors in a second, but for the marshmallows, I kind of already used it. There's not a whole lot on it, but when I was talking about the different generations.
Yeah.
So I don't even necessarily need to mention those. So Chris, who are some of the actors who played in this show?
All right, so the voice of Draculaura was provided by Debbie Derryberry, who was the voice of Wednesday Addams from the Family Addams cartoon, JJ the Jet Plane, Jimmy Neutron, Zatch Bell, and the aliens in the claw machine from Toy Story, the ones that are like, ooh.
Oh, I love those aliens.
Claw.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So now that voice makes a lot of sense. Not the Draculaura, but some of the other characters that she's done. I'm like, yep, I can hear it now.
Mm-hmm.
The voice of Frankie provided by Cassandra Lee Morris, who is the voice of Leafa from Sword Art Online, Bubbles from Popples, and also she's in lots of anime. The voices of Claudine Wolfe and Cleo Denial was provided by Sally Safiati, who's been in a lot of video game franchises, including the Fable series, Warcraft, Diablo, Skylanders, Resident Evil, and Monster Hunter, with the latest being Monster Hunter World. The voice of Laguna Blue was provided by Larissa Gallagher, who hasn't had a whole lot to her resume, mostly independent games. The voices of Twyla and Ari was provided by Jean-Quil Good, who is the voice of Applewhite from Ever After High. And then finally, the voice of Dracula, again from the last one, and most of these carried over from the last movie as well. Michael Sorich, who was the voice of Zangief from several Street Fighter cartoons, also the voice of Dalsim for one or two of them. He provided the voice for Squat and various other bad guys in almost every single Power Rangers TV show, as well as lots of anime and video games. So yeah, lots of good cast members here.
Yeah. Oh, hey, let me ask you real quick. When Twyla started talking, did you think it was Tara Strong for a little bit?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Immediately, I was like, what? Tara Strong's in this? And then I looked it up and I'm like, dang, she's just doing a Tara Strong impression.
She's doing a Tara Strong impression of Tara Strong doing Raven.
Yeah, exactly. I liked it.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, let's cover the elephant in the room, Joseph, that everybody is wondering. Even though these are fictional teenage girl monsters, which one were you slightly crushing on that you would have asked out if you were in Monster High School?
If I were in Monster High School, honestly, I think it would have been Frankie, and I'll explain why later, because it's going to involve some spoilers, I guess. So I don't want to go there yet.
Okay, so Frankie for you.
Yeah.
Got it. I think I would go Twyla, honestly. Before that, I would have gone Draculaura.
Of course.
Because even though in the first movie, she was my least favorite because I thought her voice was annoying. But now
you kind of get
I'm
used
kind of into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, but Twyla is just absolutely darling.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
And to be fair, they're all adorable. So it's like.
They are.
I know. It's like choosing your favorite gummy bear. It's like, I love all of them. I don't want to play favorites.
It's true. It's true.
So for a short synopsis of this, since I forgot to do it earlier, when Claudine dreams of opening a salon made for monsters and normies, Frankie has a perfect plan, an abandoned power station outside town, but the idea sparks negative voltage when Monica plots to ruin the whole thing and replace the celebration with something a little more shocking.
Oh, get it?
I see what they did there.
Because it's like electrified, but they said shocking.
There's a lot of electricity
it.
stuff in this movie. I get it.
Yeah, you got it.
So let's start talking about the movie. I won't go into the whole little spiel because we're not doing episodes. We're just doing the whole movie. So we'll jump right in. It opens in the same way that like I didn't rewatch to confirm, but it seems like it opened in a similar way to the first one, where it's like Dracula introducing her vlog and talking about Monster High and how they are, she and the other girls are trying to help recruit others to the, sanctuary of Monster High, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, I think, how the last one opened. It's basically, they're kind of telling us where they last left off, but yeah, using her vlog, which was established in the first movie that she had. And yeah, they started a school for monsters. Originally, it started out as like she found Frankie, and Frankie had nowhere to go because Frankie was in hiding from the normies, aka, us. Then they found Claudine, and then they just kept finding more and more cutesy teenage girl monsters to keep in their little mansion. And then we're like, let's make it a school, or else we're going to be dumb because we can't go to regular school. So let's all get homeschooled by Dracula. And then they found tons of monsters, and now there's this whole big Monster High with like 1 or 2 teachers. I'm not sure how that all works, but they're pulling it off.
The way that it opens is this wolf running from this crowd, this angry mob. We see that the wolf is kind of a new character. Again, since they're pushing toys, probably a new monster that they released or were going to release. So they had to bring her in somehow.
Oh, totally.
And the reason I feel like that especially is because she doesn't really have a big part in any of the rest of it. She's there, but she's very much a background character. Whereas I thought she was going to be more of a upfront character just from the way that it introduced the movie.
I thought that she was going to be like the big focus or something, like there's something specific with her that is going to set the rest of the movie in motion. No, not at all. They just, that's just the little tease of here's a little thing we're going to do to show you what our normal life is like.
Yeah.
And then they get into the movie after.
This is a normal day for us. Yeah.
But she was super cute too. Oh man. I mean, if you're going to have a werewolf girl, like I'll probably be into it because the werewolves are the best monster. Plus she had a mohawk, or like she had like the cool haircut, like the shaved on one side thing, and it was blue, like she had blue fur and an Irish accent. So I'm just like, come on guys, like quit trying to sell me on this because you already got me.
Yeah. You already succeeded.
You won.
Did you catch her name at all?
Nope.
I honestly don't remember them even saying it.
I feel like they did, and I feel like we had this conversation. I don't pay attention to things. Like, even when I listen to our show, I don't know which one is you and which one's me.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Can't tell the voices apart. One thing that was interesting, though, is that apparently Monica and the Zomboys go to the school now, where in the first movie, they did not really go to the school. Like, they were, I think, or did she join? I feel like she got kicked out, or because she was trying to sabotage the school, right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe either she came around or maybe she joined back up at the end. I can't remember from the first one, but I know she was definitely the adversary in the first one and also in this one. I wonder if she's just the only enemy they have.
Pretty much. And like, why wouldn't you just, I don't know, not let her go to school there?
Yeah. You have to expect these things are coming after a while. Like, fool me once, shame on you. But fool me like 500 times, shame on me.
I like how the whole thing culminates with, like, all of the things that she does, putting people in danger, could have gotten some people killed, and her punishment was she had to clean up her mess.
Yeah. It's basically like, I almost killed somebody. Oh, you've got detention.
Monsters are way more forgiving than humans.
I guess so. When it actually jumps into the movie as it starts going, like, since we thought that was an opening, that was just kind of a pre-opening. So now with this jumped into the movie, we go to Monster High. We're kind of exploring it a little bit, seeing the characters that we're familiar with from the first one and some new characters thrown in there. And then we get to Frankie, who's excited about her science project, which is a super battery, just this small battery. But what it's supposed to do is hold just a ton of electricity in it. Like, I can't remember how much exactly, but enough to charge a phone once a year. And so that would be the extent of it. And it's a ton of electricity in a small package was the idea.
And like, I mean, and from that too, you can tell that they don't understand how phones work, because like, it doesn't matter how much you charge it, like, it's just gonna go dead after, like, you know, texting 3 people.
Well, I was thinking she was going to try to convert it to the actual phone battery, like not charge it.
Yeah, but that thing was the size of like 5 cell phones.
Yeah,
you're not going to fit that inside of a phone.
But if you only had to charge once a year, kind of worth it.
Maybe you do have to carry a brick around with you.
Yeah, well, true. So, and then Monica already comes out trying to sabotage this and ends up shocking herself.
Yeah, she sucks. Like Monica. I wish she wasn't cute too.
I know, and she has the Spanish accent too.
She's got the glowy eyes, which are just super cool.
I love her outfit too, though, and it's weird for me to say that, but I really do. Like her worm earrings, and then she has like a ring that's like a rib cage. Like everything about the way they're dressed is just really spot on. I love it.
I have a question. Do we have to hand in our man card for all this?
Maybe. If such a thing exists, I think I gave mine up long ago.
Okay, I just want to be sure. I still have mine, but it's in a safe place. I'm hiding it so no one takes it away from me.
I literally just said I loved their outfits. So
yeah, you did.
So I think mine's gone. Long gone. So then we go to Twyla. We get to meet up with her, and she's actually the daughter of the boogeyman, which I thought was a cool idea.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was a cool way to go with it.
Mm-hmm. And because at first when we saw her, I thought it was Ari, and she was the ghost girl from the last movie who was disguising herself as. Is that what it was, or was that a different movie I'm thinking of?
No, that was Ari. She was a pop star in the human world,
right?
Because she was hiding her.
Oh, that's right. Because that's what set it in motion, because Draculaura was a huge fan of the human artist Ari. Yeah, okay, never mind. So yeah, that's who I thought it was at first when I saw her, because she's also kind of got the translucence going on sometimes. But what she's doing, she's actually kind of blending into the darkness or blending into the backgrounds, which was a very boogeyman thing to do, I guess, if you want to think about hiding in the closets. So I thought that was pretty cool that they did that.
Yeah, I think that was a cool touch. I like the idea that she's always stepping out of the shadows.
Yeah, exactly. And using it to scare people sometimes, or at least surprise them. What was really cool is like she makes a perfect spy because of that, and she, takes advantage of it.
Yeah.
She likes her alone time, and then Draculaura and the others come around, and she kind of Draculaura kind of drags her into coming to an Ari concert with them. She's not great in big crowds. I think she kind of fades away when they're not paying attention or something, or when they're not looking. You
know that Twyla is now like the favorite of every little girl that watched this. One, because her name is similar to Twilight.
Oh.
And 2, because she's the cute, shy girl that can fade into the background.
Right. And she enjoys her alone time, which a lot of people can relate to.
She's the one everyone wants to be now, including myself.
You got the Medusa kid whose name I don't recall, and then Wraith, the
Deuce.
other. Deuce is his name?
I don't know if that's his full name, but one of the other, the character Wraith kept calling him Deuce.
Oh, like Medusa. I got it. So
get it? You get it?
I do. So you've got Deuce and you've got Wraith. And then they want to start a band, Bonesy and Skelly, who are, this one tall skeleton kid and this other one who has like a David Bowie paint on his eye. I love those two. Yeah. Like they're awesome. They never talk, but they're just always kind of motioning what they're trying to say. Then some ghouls want into, who are the ladies equivalent. It jumps to Dracula teaching a class about, and I think this was something that they had started in the last movie too, where he teaches a class about humans and how to interact with them.
I like that.
Things about them.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Real Monsters. Real Monsters.
Yeah. Monica starts getting an idea because of this class that Dracula is teaching and telling them that humans are just afraid of the dark when they don't have any problem with it. They're just like, what's wrong with the dark? Like, oh no, darkness behind me, whatever. And so they're kind of making fun of humans because of their fear of the dark. And Monica just gets an idea that we don't hear what it is yet, but she's obviously going to take advantage of their fear of the darkness.
Oh yeah. And she kind of gets the idea too, like it's that juxtaposed with the science experiment that Frankie was doing of absorbing all the energy into one, not necessarily a battery, but absorbing it into one thing.
Right.
Yeah. So she's concocting a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to bring up, I really like the scene where the girls are like in that upstairs attic, like telling scary stories, but like it ends up being that someone turned a corner and saw a human and everyone screamed.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
Then they start playing Truth or Scare.
Truth or Scare, yeah. And one of the characters, was it Frankie, had to kiss Webby, which is this super cute little spider girl thing. And oh, dude, I love Webby.
Yeah.
I want a Webby for myself. I just want Webby to sit on my desk at work and just hang out with me and give me high fives once in a while and bat her eyes at me because she was adorable.
And then you can kiss her on the cheek every once in a while.
Yeah, and she'll make a little squealy noise.
That's what leads actually to Claudine expressing her dream to open a salon. And, she's not thinking much of it. She's just saying, like, that's my future dream. And they're just like, let's just do it. Like, let's do it now. Like, why are you waiting? It's like, well, because we're teenagers and how are we going to do this? But I guess they have the means to do it. And what's cool is they want to go open it in the abandoned power station that Frankie was found in the first movie.
Yeah, and I think that was a pretty cool callback. Like, I just like that these movies are so closely related because that's not what I was expecting to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go back to that old power plant. That's where Frankie was hiding from everybody. One thing that they brought up her creator and mentioned something about them hiding out together, but we never saw, Dr. Frankenstein or whatever. Which is kind of sad because I think it would be an interesting idea to introduce him, but it's whatever.
I mean, you could almost play off a Pinocchio story with that, like
exactly,
like Dr. Frankenstein making himself a daughter or something.
Yeah. So Monica and the Zomboys are obviously up to something. Frankie at Twyla volunteered. She didn't just ask Twyla to do this, but basically to spy on them and see what's going on because Twyla's the best for it, since she can fade into the shadows and stuff like that. And it just seems at first like they're just having a bake sale, but in the middle of the woods, which makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
But we quickly see it's because they move their little bake sale table. You can see that there's like an underground tunnel and the Zomboys are going in and out with various things. Oh, the Zomboys, by the way, we didn't explain if you haven't watched the other movies or watched this or listened to the last review we did of Monster High. The Zomboys are a bunch of, it's like what it sounds like. It's a bunch of high school boys that were, that rose from the grave. They're zombies. They're all idiots. But they all look like kind of preppy and stuff like that.
Like jocks.
Yeah. And they're basically Monica's like, entourage. And there's a lot of them.
Right. And is she a zombie as well?
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be a zombie, yeah.
Okay, but she's like a head zombie or leader of zombies because the other ones don't seem to have...
She's the leader of zombies.
Yeah.
She's the necro zombie leader lady.
Girl. Yeah. Something we should also mention because it plays a huge part is after Twyla is snapping some pictures of the Zomboy and do what they're doing, she sees what they're gathering, where they're getting some digging tools, a Tesla coil, and some other things. And then she meets up with Frankie to tell her about this. And as they're walking back, I think it starts to storm and lightning strikes near them. I think because they took the Tesla coils, there's nothing to absorb it. So Frankie sees that Twyla is about to be hit by a lightning bolt. So she goes to protect her and absorbs all of this lightning in the bolts on her neck. And that's where really the rest of the movie is going to start going, is the idea that she's able to absorb this electricity. It supercharges her too. It's like she has 10 Red Bulls after she gets shocked like that. And it gets progressively more and more to the point where I think she said that she finished the rest of the next 2 semesters homework in the night or something.
Yeah.
And then she, I guess, had been up all night. And then she's trying to get some coffee too to keep the charge going. She's not really associating it with the electricity though. And then, but you see, as she's walking around, she's kind of zapping the electricity into other things or sometimes out of other things.
I thought it was a cool scene too, the way when the lightning hits her, her eyes light up all white and it looks cool. She levitates a little bit, which is going to happen again. But yeah, this whole thing was really funny because she was just spazzing out And like the way she talked, she was doing everything really fast. And my favorite was when she was upstairs talking to the girls while Claudine was showing off her dress designs and stuff. And Frankie's like twitching, and like some of her, like one of her pupils will change size while the other one like gets smaller and the other one gets bigger, just for like a quarter second, and just keeps like twitching all over the place. And that had me cracking up because it was just so funny looking.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I really do like Frankie the best, because that twitching and moving around reminded me of one of my favorite horror comedy movies, which I can't really say on the show because, well, okay, here's what I'll say. It's Franken and then Lady of the Evening. Like, I won't say the whole thing, but
that's awesome.
But it's just a horror comedy, and it's so funny. And like this guy's girlfriend, who's been she had to be kind of put together from the parts of other women because she was killed in an accident. And so, but the reason I even mention it is because she's doing a lot of those twitches, and so much of it was reminiscent of that to me that I feel like they may have gotten some ideas from that movie, or I hope they did at least.
That's what they were going for?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I like that idea. So Frankie discovers this weird ability where if she touches clothing, she makes it light up and it makes it really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Thus Monster High Electrified. So all of the main girls, but also Ari, who I wouldn't really count among the main ones, but she's there with them, get these new light up outfits and different hair and stuff when this happens.
And that's when the toy selling aspect really comes in.
That's definitely the toy commercial right there.
But it still kind of works in the sense that they don't dwell on it too much. It's just like a cool addition to what's already happening.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of cool. One thing that she also did, which was kind of funny, is she accidentally created this tiny little electric monster guy named Snap. I like how they animated him, like he floated, but also he kind of, I don't know, like his movements were just weird. It was very different, and I liked it.
Yeah, he was very erratic, and he is essentially just a collection of the remaining electricity that Frankie had left in her.
That became like sentient, basically.
Yeah.
So he becomes kind of like a little buddy, and I was expecting him to cause problems or something, and that they would have to resolve, but nope, he's just the buddy.
He's more helpful than anything.
Yeah. So it turns out Monica was going to drain all of the electricity from the human world into this battery. And, she goes on this big speech because she captures Twyla, which how you hold a monster that can just kind of mold into the shadows and move through things captive. I'm not sure how you do that, but she did it. And I love, she gives this like big speech and everything about like how they're going to be so scary to the humans and stuff. And she looks over and the zomboids are just sitting at this nice little picnic sipping tea.
That part made me laugh. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, be scary. And they're like, And
then one of them like grabs his teacup and finishes his tea off.
Yeah.
There were some really good jokes in here, like ones that I think you can appreciate as an adult and a kid. Like it's not like adult humor, but it's humor that's like really subtle.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree with that.
What I liked about it too, like her whole plan was that she was going to basically start this epidemic that she was calling the Night of the Zomboids. That was just reminding me a lot of like, Night of the Living Dead, Night of really anything you associate with zombies, you associate with that Night of prefix.
Yeah.
And so I liked that they brought that in there.
Yeah, that was a really cool idea. I was pretty excited about that too. And it just sounds awesome. But when she did the thing, it melted the battery and she wasn't able to drain all the electricity because, she should have paid more attention in school, I guess. But the new plan becomes kidnapping Frankie to absorb all the energy, which she does. She releases Twyla, and I'm going to give him credit for this because I thought this was pretty smart. She releases Twyla. Twyla thinks that she got away of her own accord. But Twyla goes up, tells Frankie what's going on. Frankie goes with her down to the hideout. And once they get down there, they were all basically waiting for them. And she captures Twyla again, captures Frankie, and does it, like drains all the electricity into Frankie.
Yeah, she doesn't really capture Frankie so much as she just has her positioned and is stalling so that she gets right under the Tesla
in the right
coil.
Spot.
Yeah, and then this scene was actually really cool when all the electricity drew into her. It was like she was like ascending. She became like a god of thunder, or god of lightning.
It was cool. Yeah, it was such a cool, like, animated thing. It was just, like, again, her eyes were lit up, but, like, they made this, like, you know, if you think of, like, an icon you see associated with, like, the idea of, like, nuclear science or an atom or something, like, the electricity was kind of forming that around her and moving into her, and she's floating, and metal in the room is starting to levitate around her and stuff. It was just super epic the way that they did it. I thought that was awesome.
Right. Yeah. And even like when she was able to start speaking, like her voice sounded really like, I don't know. There was just so many great things about that scene. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that they threw that in there, and I'm glad that they put so much effort into it, because it could have been just a quick thing, but they made it like an epic event.
Yeah, it was definitely something that it was one of the better scenes of the whole movie, and at least animated wise. But that's like big praise, because this thing is animated beautifully.
Yeah, like when we talk about some other animated movies or whatever, or animated shows, it's like, you know, they're kind of like so. Winx Club, like that animation was just bad, and you know that was a couple years ago, I guess. So maybe they just weren't caught up. And it is a TV show, so I know they're on a smaller budget, but still, they could take a lot of hints from Monster High.
Absolutely. So yeah, like all the electricity gets drained from the human world. And what sucks is because that was the night of Claudine's big salon opening, which they invited the humans to, because they were like, this is going to be the bridge between our world and the human world. And lots of humans showed up because Ari, who is like the only monster that's able that's kind of able to go both sides of the spectrum, and being a pop star and stuff, has a big like Twitter following. She was like tweeting about the salon opening. Tons of people came. Everything's going great. Then the power gets drained. Monica and the Zomboys come out to start tearing crap up, but except those two that got stuck because they both tried to come out at the same time.
Oh yeah,
and the camera kept going back to them because they couldn't get out. Well, that was hilarious.
What's funny is like, I don't know what I was expecting them to do when they got out there, but they really just started like pranking everybody. Like
they were like TPing houses.
They were TPing houses. They were like setting off car alarms, throwing toilet paper just at people. And so I was like, well, I guess that makes sense. Like, it's not like I expect them to just go and be like eating the humans or something, but it's like, that's where my head goes, having seen so many horror movies. So, and it would have been a perfect setup for that, but this works too. Yeah. Like this, I see why they had to like, obviously soften it a lot.
Right. And it was that I think it worked really well for for this movie, for this like property, because it was goofy. You know, it was silly. It was fun. You know, they never really do anything where someone can get physically hurt.
Yeah.
Except for at one point, some of the Zomboys got crushed when that like big electrical part fell on them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was just a fun, goofy kind of evil is what they were doing.
Yeah, it's funny to say, but yeah, it adds levity to what otherwise could have been a very serious plan that she actually succeeded at.
Yeah. And then of course, like, so all the girls assemble and go to fight against the Zomboys. So you got to have the EDM montage of the girls using their various things, which it's kind of cool seeing the girls like physically fight against the Zomboys, because it's just not really that kind of story most of the time. You know, there's no real fighting or anything involved. It's just not that kind of property.
Right.
But here we got to see it, which was kind of cool. Like Cleo using her mummy wrappings to like grab them and spin them around, and you know, various things like that. Dracula turning into a bat and dropping stuff on people. You know, there's some cool stuff in there.
I think Snap was in there too, right? Like he was doing some stuff in that fight.
Oh, so here's a big thing that happened that we didn't really talk about was like, since Frankie got filled with all that electricity, it was like, what did they do to help her? Because she wasn't, you know, herself anymore. She wasn't responding the same. And then Snap tried to do something and I think like touched her, and it kind of sent him flying a little bit, but also like then all of the energy started jumping out of her, and she basically made an army of multicolored snaps. Like there was just looked like hundreds or thousands of them. And so they sent all of them to help fight against the zomboids. Also restored all the electricity and everything.
Which was really cool. I liked that. It's like I saw it coming, but it's what I was hoping for too. So it was a welcome thing that they brought in there. Because I was like, oh, since she can collect all that energy into those, like, I bet that's what's going to happen. And sure enough, like, that's what she ended up doing in order to dispense the energy, the overload of energy she had in her. She made that, like you said, thousands of snaps, multicolored, which again is probably a toy line in itself, probably a bag of snaps or something.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, like after the zombies are easily defeated because there's so many snaps against them, and, you know, the girls too, since they are just collected energy, they disperse themselves back into the power lines or whatever and repower this town. What I was curious about was Monica's plan to take electricity, because she kept saying like all the electricity. Was she taking like the world's electricity or just that town's electricity?
See, I think that she didn't think that through. I think it just took the electricity from the town immediately near the high school. Like, it wasn't gonna, I mean, not every power grid's connected. It just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, true. And I guess like that just goes to show, again, she doesn't go to class or whatever. She doesn't know science. So she thought she took all the electricity.
Kids.
Yeah. Don't be like Monica.
Don't be Monica. You know, don't get tattoos of all your favorite cheeses. That's a joke from last week's episode. Yeah. So if you didn't listen to it, you're not in the know.
Then she has to, like you said, she has to clean up the mess she made in the salon. And the concern that Claudine had was that since when the humans came, that's when those zombies rose from the ground and scared all of them away. She's like, well, that's it. You know, like business is over. So we're going to have to like rebuild or whatever. And then who is it that comes in and is like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, why aren't you getting ready? She's like,
it was Twyla. Twyla came in.
Okay, yeah.
And she's just like, oh, guys.
It's like the happy ending that you kind of expect from a movie like this, where the humans are out, all the normies, the humans are out there just so excited to come back in the salon because they thought it was just part of the grand opening, which was kind of a cool idea too.
Yeah, it was like, because like, so the humans don't realize that these are monsters. They just think they're like, this is the new big, like edgy fashion is monster fashion, basically.
Yeah, monster makeover
style.
Yeah.
As they keep saying like monster style is trending and, you know, stuff like that. So the girls still get their day, or at least, you know, Claudine still isn't, she's not a complete failure. Even though, like, for some reason, I don't remember her being so Jersey in the first movie, but, like, now she is just straight up, like, she could have been on Jersey Shore.
I kind of remember, because I remember her speech pattern seeming kind of strange to me because of the way some of her words would end. I remember that from the first movie, so I think it's carried over directly. They may have Jersey-fied it up a little more, not sure.
I feel like they exaggerated it a bit. This did make me laugh, and this is what endears me to Draculaura, is when, like, they were talking about, you know, what happened the night before, and Draculaura was just upset that none of the zomboys complimented about their decorations before they destroyed all of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, okay, that's just funny. Oh, one thing we didn't really cover is, like, I mean, you talked about a group of monsters making a band, but back and forth through this whole thing, it keeps going and showing the band. And first they're about to start jamming, and then they realize they don't have a name. And then they all have a different idea of what the name's going to be. And they fight about it for like 5 minutes. Then it cuts away. You get more of the story. Goes back again later. And then they're fighting about what genre they're going to be.
Oh, yeah, because there's so many different, because they have metal, they have jazz, or smooth jazz, they have polka.
Smooth jazz.
Yeah, what was hilarious was when Skelly and the other skeleton kid started playing those guitars that they had, and just smooth jazz is coming out of it.
One of them wanted to play like alt rock or something, or monster alternative is what he called it.
Yeah.
And then someone wanted metal, and they just started playing like that, like elevator music, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
But that was a fun part where it was kind of the interlude between things that were happening like in the larger story, but it would always be funny when we would cut to it because they would be disagreeing on something, or, what music to play. Or it's like when they did get a show, like they didn't ever practice any songs, so they didn't know what they were going to do. Then it closes out, luckily, with them at least having a semblance of a song called, of course, We're Electrified. And I thought it sounded pretty good. And I think Monica was like booing them at some point.
Yeah, she started booing them, and then Snap comes out because they get sad and stop playing. And Snap touches one of the amps and just electrifies them, of course. And then they're getting into the song even more. And like the power current runs through and zaps Monica and the Zomboys too. And her hair gets all crazy and stuff like that, which is kind of funny. But like, yeah, I liked the song more than I wanted to. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good.
I didn't want to like it,
but you did. It even had some
but I did
smooth jazz and polka thrown in there, like little beats of it.
Yeah, it did somehow. I don't know how they managed to do that, but like they did it, and it didn't sound wrong.
I understand why this franchise is, I'm assuming, still very popular, or at least popular with the right audience, because they just have this great production, not only like, I guess, production value as far as cost goes, but also there's intelligent writing behind it. There's good jokes to it. It's just a fun thing that I think you can enjoy whether you're a kid or an adult watching it with your kid.
Yeah, they definitely know what they're doing, for sure. The writers are really good at this.
One more thing I wanted to say before we do move on, though, is that what I thought was interesting was that Snap didn't put himself back into the electricity stream. Like, he still remained a character on the outside.
Oh, yeah. I mean, would you? I wouldn't do it.
Well, I mean, the whole army of them did. I thought he was going to go with them and it was going to be like his sad goodbye. But he's like, nah, forget it. Like, so somebody's house out there is just doesn't have power because Snap was greedy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going in there, guys.
No, that's not.
Well, no, because Snap came from the lightning.
That's true.
strike.
That's true. He came from lightning, so he didn't have anywhere to go back to. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, he would have just gone back to the clouds.
Yeah. So, all right, forgiven then. That makes sense. Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our inner kids back to Monster High to try out for race band and see just how many names can be added to the band title. Then see what they thought of Monster High Electrified.
This movie was pretty cool for being all about girls. But then again, these girls are all monsters, which makes them extra cool. Even Draculaura's voice didn't bug me so much this time. And all the girls are super cute, and the Zomboys are really funny, and I hope I can be a Zomboy one day. So I gave this cartoon 4 bowls of shockin' awesome cereal out of 5.
I'm a little torn on my review of this because I'm going in knowing it was clearly made to push the Monster High toy line, but man did it work for me. I really enjoyed traveling inside a spooky school and seeing the large cast of unique characters, some recurring from the previous film and some new. Many of the jokes actually did make me laugh out loud, especially when it came to Monica and the Zomboys. Also, it was a lot of fun seeing Frankie play such a large role in this film, and those effects after she absorbs electricity were pretty cool. Overall, I'd give Monster High Electrified 4 big bowls of Rolling Bones cereal out of 5, and I think you'd be surprised at how great it was. Finally, I have to know, what kind of brains were the Zomboys actually craving? My assumption would have been human brains like any self-respecting zombie, but all they did was prank them. Maybe the second part of Monica's plan was to have a Return of the Zomboys event where they all have a grand feast out of ripe normie heads. But probably not. I've just seen way too many scary movies I probably shouldn't have.
I'd be down for some like, I don't know, like a solo movie of the Zomboys, but where they actually start murdering teenagers.
Yeah, that's when it moves up into the post high school crowd. Now it's Monster College.
Yeah, Monster College, like anything goes, you know?
Yeah.
So do you have any final thoughts on Monster High Electrified?
Even though I really enjoyed the first one, when I saw the cover art of this one, I was like, I don't know, that looks like it's getting a little too artificial. And so I was going in with a little chip on my shoulder because of the cover art that I had seen. But then watching it just all the way through, I'm like, all right, like I'm, again, liking this more than I thought I would and probably more than I should. But I think it's just because at this point we've seen so many cartoons. It's great to see a refreshing, intelligent one. And I think for the subject matter, it doesn't dumb itself down so much that it is an insult to the kids' intelligence, nor does it go way higher than it needs to. It stays about an even plane, and it's got some, like I said, good jokes, a great pacing to it, and just some really fun scenes. And, you know, anything with monsters in it is going to get extra points for me anyway. And this really takes advantage of those properties and has some great callbacks to other horror things. So I really liked it.
Yeah, I don't feel like this one was as strong as the first one we watched. Maybe a little bit less memorable, but I mean, the characters they're designed really well. The animation is gorgeous. It's funny. In fact, I would say that I think it is actually funnier, and I think the animation is even better than the last movie, especially with all the lighting effects they used. Like, this is top-notch animation. This is like, some of this stuff is beyond Pixar level as far as I'm concerned. I think we could be getting a little bit of some character oversaturation, though, just because they keep introducing new ones, adding more to the core group, which feels like it's getting spread a little thin, because there's some of the characters that I feel like you didn't get to spend as much time with this time, like Draculaura, like Cleo. This one was very centered around Frankie, Claudine, Twyla, which is cool. Like, I enjoyed it, but I don't want you to lose, like, some of the other characters that you're already established with. But I mean, then again, it was still a really fun movie. It was really enjoyable. The Zomboys gave me some definite laugh out loud moments because of all their antics and because they're just morons, which is just great. So it's definitely a great Halloween cartoon for kids and their families. If you can get past the idea that these were created to sell toys to girls, like, it's just super fun, especially if you're a fan of like classic monsters.
Honestly, it's less of a cash grab than some of the shows were from our youths, like, He-Man, Dino Rider, stuff like that were definitely made to sell toys.
Oh, absolutely.
And even though they can hold their own, like, they still, like, this could be a standalone without toys involved at all, and I would buy it. Like, not buy it, like, physically purchase it. I mean, like, I would believe it, that it was an actual independent property.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, and then also, like, even if you think, like, oh, no, I'm not going to watch this or whatever, like, watch the electricity scene with Frankie at least, and just to see how great the effects were in that. Like, that is such an impressive scene. You can detach it from the property all you want, but just check that scene out, and I think you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I think anyone would be surprised as to, like, how good this franchise honestly can be.
Yeah, so again, thank you, Ira, for suggesting this. Keep them coming, because you're... I don't even know how many in O right now, but I'm pretty sure you're batting 100. Wait, is that bad or good? I don't know if that's bad or good. You're doing good.
He's done pretty well for himself. He's done pretty well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for suggesting this for our first installment in our October celebration.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And next week, for the second episode of our October celebration, we'll be watching
Howard Lovecraft and the Frozen Kingdom, suggested by me for our October celebration.
And neither of us has seen this before, correct?
Neither of us have seen it, and I have heard not the greatest things about it, which makes me really excited.
I'm a little concerned, but it's going to be a good episode either way.
I love me some Lovecraft, so get it? I love Lovecraft. Okay, I love crafting good review.
Wow.
I'm gonna stop. I chose it. We'll just end it at that now.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.